All right, another free agent that you hear talked about relation to the Browns, Jessie Bates from the Bengals. Bengals are going to have to pay Joe Burrow. They're going to have to pay Jamar Chase. They have some big-time guys that are coming up for contract extensions in the upcoming years. James Rapien, who does the Locked On Bengals podcast, talking about why Bates could end up in Cleveland.
His agent, you mentioned him, David Mulligetta. Mm-hmm. He's Deshaun Watson's agent.
And T. Higgins' agent.
But thank goodness T. Higgins is under contract. Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson is on what team? The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are on the hunt for what right now? Help on defense. They fired their defensive coordinator. I'm not sure if they've hired one yet. I don't know. I know they're going to have cap space. There's a relationship there already. Would not shock me at all if the Browns are in on Jessie Bates in a month, in on him at the combine, right? Mm-hmm. And already talking to Mulligetta about that because they have an in. They've negotiated with him in the past. That's how these relationships work. So that would not shock me if that's the case and the Browns are a suitor for Jessie Bates in free agency.
Gotta like the he's connecting the dots for us, and that if they move off of John Johnson, they're gonna have to find somebody like Jessie Bates.
Yeah, shout out to James Rapien, my old co-worker at the Fan, fellow Locked On podcast member. We do the Locked On Browns, and we appreciate if you gonna sign that up for me, Mr. Rapien. We'll take him because John Johnson, we could save about roughly $10 million in cap space with Mr. John Johnson if we move on from him. And what better way to bring in somebody like Jessie Bates, who knows the T. Higgins of the world, knows the Tyler Boyds of the world, played against Joe Burrow, knows Jamar Chase, and has played on a solid defense for the last couple of years of the Bengals. I was really impressed by the way the Bengals play against Kansas City. I love the opportunistic nature of what they do. The Bengals don't have super studs, but what the Bengals do is they don't miss tackles. The Bengals are super solid. They got a lot of tier guys that make plays, and that would be a big-time move for the Browns because that would solidify me. I could do kill two birds with one stone. I can move on from a player that I think is underperformed and save some cap space and bring in a guy who's been to a Super Bowl, who's been a captain on that team, who's been in the playoffs playing in those wars and battles, and can bring a lot of say-so, a lot of cachet to a Browns defense that frankly was void of leadership. So James Rapien, listen, man, I appreciate it. If you got some inside information, I'm all ears for that. I'll take it.
And the other thing is you lessen and you hurt an opponent. You hurt Cincinnati's defense by taking them off. There's not a downside to that if you can make it work financially.